Hello everyone and welcome to round 6 of the URL-GT3 Championship in Assetto Corsa. From Bathurst, Australia, we travelled all the way back to the UK for our 6th race of the season at Donington Park, and it was set to be a good one. Let's have a look at the qualifying results. Tony Ukic took the pole in front of Reinhard Berger and Florian Kutz. It was Tony Ukic with a last moment attempt, taking the pole with a 1:27.8, only 3/10 in front of Reinhard Berger and 4/10 in front of Florian Kutz. Nikola Simic put his Audi in 4th position, and the Team 87 guys were in 5th and 6th. Then came the only Lamborghini on the track with Manuel Liguori, then teammates Peter Abelowski, Robert Horvat, 2 Nissans, Gregory Olivier and Voje Dobrovic. Greg Metcalf put his BMW in 12th, Sandro Donadel and Ivan Gridello in the Audi in 13th and 14th. So let's have a look at the highlights of this race. So here we are, it's foggy at Donington. We have Tony Ukic on the left, Reinhard Berger on the right in the black Ferrari. Let's see if everyone can get away cleanly here. It seems everyone gets off the line very well, and Reinhard Berger, can he go around the outside to take the lead into the first turn? He has to slot in behind. Then everyone keeps it clean through the first bend, but Nikola Simic in the back has a spin, and he causes Robert Horvat and Alex Scott to drop back onto the old hairpin. Then Tony Ukic leading the pack, and we have Mitchell Smith and Peter Abelowski here absolutely side by side, very closely followed by the Nissan of Voje Dobrovic. Here he is, riding on board with him. He had a good start. He has Greg Metcalf behind, but he will have to stay behind Peter Abelowski for now. Then back to the front. Reinhard Berger has a good exit onto the straight, going into the chicane, but he's too far back to be making any moves at this point, so he will stay behind Tony Ukic. Florian Kutz is in 3rd position. Oh, and a bit of a slide there from Greg Metcalf. He's getting under pressure just as Florian Kutz attacks Reinhard Berger around the outside, but he doesn't make it. Sandro Donadel and Greg Metcalf are absolutely side by side here. So here we go through the last turn. It's Tony Ukic from Reinhard Berger, then Florian Kutz, Simon Fillingham, Manuel Liguori, Mitchell Smith, etc, etc. This is the first pack, and then the 3 guys that were impacted by that first turn collision: Alex Scott, Nikola Simic and Robert Horvat. Starting lap 2, then we have Peter Abelowski and Voje Dobrovic side by side, and behind them Greg Metcalf and Sandro Donadel. Oh, tight move there, but they keep it clean, and Greg Metcalf comes out on top at the moment. No, it's Sandro Donadel keeping it in front, the Audi, and the Nissan behind. Gregory Olivier, if I'm not mistaken, ready to pounce for a mistake of these guys. Simon Fillingham dropped the wheel onto the grass. We saw him on the right side. He drops back to last position. Unconventional line there from Gregory Olivier, but he goes through as Sandro Donadel goes off, and also Nikola Simic, or Ivan Gridello, sorry, went onto the gravel. Then on lap 3 we have Peter Abelowski still closely followed by Voje Dobrovic, and that's that crash of Simon Fillingham, crashing out of P4 if I'm not mistaken. The guys in front keep battling it out. We have Peter Abelowski closely followed, or closely following, getting side by side with Mitchell Smith, and he gets passed for P5, so he's now following Manuel Liguori to take P4 in this race behind Tony Ukic, Reinhard Berger and Florian Kutz. They have a bit of a gap to the rest of the field already. Greg Metcalf is under threat from Gregory Olivier, And still this battle here raging on. Peter Abelovsky desperately trying to get past Milo Liguori to hunt down that top 3, but he has to stay behind. Gregory Olivier then right on Mitchell Smith's tail, and they have a touch, a small tap from behind as Mitchell goes into the gravel, and the Nissan driver waits for him to pass, which allows Greg Metcalf to get past. Voja Dobrovic then dropping back, and Gregory Olivier now just in front of him. Then here riding with Nikola Simic, I think. Audi versus Audi, and quite a bit of overspeed for Nikola Simic. Sandro Donadel will be getting out of that battle. They are right behind Alex Scott as well. And here Peter Abelovsky still trying to get past Milo Liguori for 4th position. However, he makes a move here into the last turn. They have a small touch. He decides not to wait. Just a small hesitation there. So quite a bit of drivers passing Milo Liguori, and it's Greg Metcalf now in 4th position. Mitchell Smith is in 5th, and then Peter Abelovsky, followed by Voja Dobrovic and Gregory Olivier. Here we are riding with Simon Fillingham. He dropped back. Remember his crash in the S's, and he's now trying to get past Ivan Gridello, if I'm not mistaken, which he does. Ivan Gridello also dropped back in the opening laps. But still a good battle here between the Audi and the Ferrari drivers. Then Sandro Donadel getting caught by Robert Horvat, and he makes the pass. He's still in contention for the team's championship with his teammate Peter Abelovsky, so they will be looking at all the points they can get. And the 2 Nissans of Voja Dobrovic and Gregory Olivier, unfortunately getting one wheel over the curb and spinning his Nissan, losing 2 or even more positions, I think, to Milo Liguori. This is Robert Horvat going through, and Sandro Donadel slotting in right behind him. Then riding with Alex Scott in the Mercedes. He didn't have the greatest start, but he's following Ivan Gridello as well, who opts to get out of that battle and let Alex Scott through, run his own race and see where he ends up. Milo Liguori, after his crash with Peter Abelovsky, picking up the pieces, overshooting his braking marker by quite a lot, so the Nissan here will get back on him. He is battling it out with Voja Dobrovic, if I'm not mistaken, and Robert Horvat. Close down on these guys with some better pace. He's right behind, and he will dive into the pits, as we see here. The pit stop window opens, and the battle between Voja and Manlio still raging on. Voja now slightly going wide into turn 1, and Manlio goes for the gap. Almost a touch, but Manlio takes the position. Here's Nikola Simic then, trying to get past Greg Metcalf. Around the outside won't work here into the hairpin. So going for the late apex undercut. Again side by side. And again late braking by Nikola. And once again cutting across. He has a better exit now. Can get alongside Greg. Will he be able to brake late and get the position into turn 1? Let's see. Tries to make the turn as wide as possible, and he is going around the outside, so position gained for Nikola Simic. Nice driving by these 2 guys. And here are our race leaders. Not a lot of action there, but the gap never grew to over 1 second in the whole first stint, so very very close between these 2. Reinhard Berger right behind Tony Ukic, putting the pressure on, so no mistakes allowed for Tony Ukic. Florian Kutz then in third position, quite lonely, dropping back from these guys. Simon Fillingham is a lapped car together with Sandro Donadel. Simon was already in the pits. Nikola Simic is in fourth position at the moment, followed by Greg Metcalf. Then Mino Liguori and Hrvoje Dobrovic. We saw that battle, which will continue for a bit more. Then Gregory Olivier, just behind those. Alex Scott is down, and Peter Abelovsky was already in the pits. We'll see later on where he slots back in. Mitchell Smith then behind him and back to the leader. So it's pit stop time now. First, let's see how the leaders handle the pit stops. Tony Ukic getting to the last turn. He gets it stopped, and the gap is half a second at this point after half of the race. Both leaders diving into the pits at the same time. Tony Ukic has the first spot, then Reinhard Berger stopping in the middle of the pit lane, and also following them Florian Kutz also getting into the pit. So the top three, let's see who gets away the quickest. Can the Nissan crew get it done quicker and make that gap a bit bigger to Reinhard Berger or not? There goes Tony Ukic. Can Reinhard Berger get going? Yes, but he has to slot in right behind. The gap has not grown, or it hasn't gotten smaller at all. And then before the pit stops for these guys, Hrvoje and Mandio, we saw this battle before, swapping positions back and forth. Mandio going a bit wide and Hrvoje getting a better exit. He's side by side here into the chicane. Mando is on the inside, riding with him on board. Oh, bit of a tap there from both drivers, but that's Hrvoje taking the position. He was all the way on the right side of the track, so he gains the position, and he will dive into the pits. And as Hrvoje Dobrovic comes out of the pits, he loses the position to Gregory Olivier. Hrvoje had a bad pit stop and lost several seconds and couldn't get back out in front of Mino Liguori. Then in the second stint, the most important thing was our race leader here. The gap grew to 1.5 seconds at some point, but then Reinhard Berger started to put the pressure up again, and now the gap is down to 0.5 of a second across the line to start another lap. We only have 8 laps to go, so it's money time for Reinhard Berger. If he wants to win this race, he will have to get close enough to Tony and make an opportunistic attempt, because these guys are evenly matched on pace. Looking at the lap times, there's never more than a few tenths between them, and the gap goes back and forth between the two. Riding with Reinhard Berger for a second here. Over the curb for Tony, and braking here, and Tony going a bit wide onto the gravel. He will lose first position. Reinhard Berger takes the lead in round 6 of the URL-GT3 Championship, and Tony doesn't have a lot of time to regain that position. We'll see by the end of the race if he could do that. Florian Kutz still lonely in third position, and unfortunately for Tony Ukic, Reinhard Berger never conceded any pace, and he kept the gap at about 2 seconds after Tony's mistake. So Reinhard Berger will win round 6 from Tony Ukic. Florian Kutz had a lonely race in third. Hrvoje Dobrovic is a lapped car together with Mino Liguori. They got close by the end of the second stint. Alex Scott is lapped as well. Simon Fillingham then, he's right in front, also lapped, but right in front of Peter Abelovsky, who was being harassed by Nikola Simic throughout the whole second stint, but their gap as well stayed more or less the same throughout the whole stint. So good pressure from Nikola Simic, but Peter Abelovsky will take 4th position in the Camaro GT3. Then Sandro Donadel here One lap down, Greg Metcalfe was following Nikola Simic, and he was in a very close battle with Mitchell Smith. Right behind them he will finish. Robert Horvat was right behind these guys, but he didn't have the pace to get close enough to them. Then Gregory Olivier was behind them. So that's the whole field finishing the race here at Donington Park. These are the full results. Reinhard Berger, as I said, 2.8 seconds in front of Tony Ukic, and Florian Kutz 20 seconds back. Then the close battle between Peter Abelovsky and Nikola Simic, only 0.8 of a second between them after 1 hour of racing. Greg Metcalfe and Mitchell Smith also less than a second, only 0.4 between them, and Robert Horvat was 6 seconds further back. Gregory Olivier and Manuel Liguori make up the top 10. Rvoje Dobrovic, Alex Scott and Simon Fillingham were 11th, 12th and 13th finishing the race, and Sando Donadel and Ivan Gridello unfortunately didn't finish the race in this case. So that were the highlights for our Donington race. Next week we are heading for round 7. We are heading to Austria, to the Red Bull Ring, or the A1 Ring as it was known before, for 40 laps with a clear sky and potentially a title decider already. So stay tuned, join us at unitedracersleague.com and get racing with us, or subscribe to this channel to get all the latest highlights videos when they come out. Thank you for watching and see you next time.